Hi everybody, welcome back to this video series. In this video, we're going to be talking about some quick start numbers. Now, this is for anybody out there that's not interested in doing the calculations in the previous video, where we talked about calculating your BMR, your TDEE, your deficits and all that kind of crazy stuff. Now, the calculations are, in my opinion, as simple as I can make them. However, there are some people out there which do not want to do any form of calculations and they're struggling with this number thing. So I've decided to include this video for those people out there who might be watching this, where you can, instead of going through that calculator on the website and that process, you can just go on to this table on your screen right now, which is next to me, and you'll be able to pick out a number and use that. Now, as you can see, I've divided the table on your screen according to the goals that we're trying to achieve. So whether it be fat loss or muscle gain. And as I've always talked about, you can achieve both, but it's usually often oversold by marketing companies that say, if you take this pill, then you will be able to build muscle, lose fat at the same time. Physiologically, you can do that, but only for a short period of time, right? So most people focus on fat loss first and foremost. And so that's going to be goal number one. And then when you get to a certain body fat percentage, you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, you know what, I could do with a bit of muscle now. Then you might go to goal number two, which is on the second table here under muscle gain. So most people usually start here and then they go to muscle gain afterwards. So I've split the table up according to goal number one, goal number two, and you'll see that for men and women, the calories that you'll be consuming according to each goal will be approximate. And it's based in a range. So, this is not a very accurate way of going about it, but as I said before, this is for people that don't want to do any calculations. So I'll show you how the number that I used in the previous example, how that applies and fits in this table. And it may not always fit in this. Your particular calculation may or may not fit within the number range in this table. It doesn't matter. If you're going to use this table, then use this table. Don't worry about those calculations in the previous video. If you're using the calculations in the previous video, you do not need to watch this video. Okay, you don't need to go any further. Right, so this is for people that just don't want to do any calculations. So just watch this video and I'll show you how to interpret this table. So firstly, fat loss. Now, if you're a man watching this, you're going to select a number as a starting place between 2,000 to 2,400 calories. And as a woman, it's going to be 1,300 to 1,700 calories. And, in reality, the actual calories that you need to stimulate fat loss may be outside the range on the upper end of the scale, or outside the range on the lower end of the scale. As I said, this is an approximate number to get you started. And then once you get started, then you can make the adjustments. You can do your measurements. If you start applying the everything in the application or in the meal plan, you find that you're not losing weight or you're not gaining weight at approximately 1 to 3 pounds every week, then you'll find that you can make adjustments here every 100 calories up or down. That's what you can do. Go to Meal Planning Mastery. I talk more about how to diagnose plateaus and that kind of thing. So first and foremost, fat loss. Now let's have a look at my example. Now I came up with 2,205 calories over here. Now 2,200, that's kind of in the middle right here, as you can see. And if I go to the previous example, if I were to build maximum muscle, then I'd have to consume somewhere around 3,500 calories as a starting place. And then I'd probably going to plateau and I'd have to add 100 calories, 100 calories, 100 calories, every 2 weeks or so. So 3,500 calories would be a starting place. How does that fit into the table? So 3,500 calories is kind of on the lower end of this range. But some guys need to start out on 4,000 calories plus, because they're ultra marathon runners, or their calorie expenditure is so high that they need to consume more calories so that their body can be in that surplus to build muscle. And that's why it's a huge variation and it's not completely accurate. That's why I always recommend, first and foremost, okay, so pick your goal. What do you want to achieve? Fat loss or muscle gain? And fair enough, you can get away with doing both at the same time for the first few months. In that case, if you are carrying quite a bit of body fat, for a guy, it might be over 15 to 17, maybe over 20% for a guy. If you're over about 20% body fat for a guy, then you want to start chopping fat. For a woman, if you're sort of over 25, 30% for a woman, then you want to start chopping fat. So you'll start with the top goal. And then, when you get down to lean numbers, for a guy, it might be about 10 to 12% or 13% body fat. Then you'll look at your body. Are you happy? Yes, I am. Then you can maintain that. If you're not happy, you can start bulking again and then applying goal number 2. If you're a woman, usually 15, 17, 18, 19% body fat is what you'll use as a kind of a yardstick to determine whether you are to bulk or not. And if you're a woman watching this, you don't want to hear me say that, because the word bulking means getting fat. In reality, if you bulk this way that I talk about in this course, you're not going to get all fat, right? 10% surplus is enough. It's all you need to do to maintain, to put yourself in an anabolic state to build muscle. Anything more than that, you're just going to put on a bunch of fat, right? Man or woman. So 10% is enough for a man or woman. If you're a woman, you're wanting to add a little bit of muscle, you can never be a man. You don't have the hormones to build huge amounts of muscle unless you're taking steroids. Then there's no need. You'll never have to be concerned with getting bulky like a man. It just won't happen. But if you want to have that toned look, you need to build some muscle. Period. And so that's all there is to it. So use this table. If you don't want to do the calculations in the previous video. And otherwise, that's all there is. So pick your goal, define your gender, and then you'll pick a number in the range. Now, it can be in the middle of the range, it could be the end of the range, at the top of the range. And this number is going to be your starting place. And then from here, you're going to make the adjustments as you move along. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.